Hi, I'm Michael Wargo, team pilot with Precision Aerobatics, and today we're going to do another in my series of three easy, nice maneuvers for you to learn each segment. Today we're going to go over three that can be done in a little bit smaller park. If you pan around a little bit, Andrew, you'll see the park is a little bit smaller. We're going to be in a little bit more confined space. So we're going to learn a couple maneuvers to do in a small space, and let's see how they look. Okay. Now, as you can see, I'm in a much smaller space today. There's a couple of things that I like to do when the space is a little bit smaller. That looks kind of dramatic and things like that. And one of them is kind of a waterfall turn to where we can get into an inverted Harrier. Again, start it higher, but immediately over, then hit the throttle on the way down. You've seen me in my videos, come out of it very, very low, and that is going to be just based on your confidence level. How windy it is, things like that. There's a lot of things that might keep you from wanting to go really, really low. But all we're going to do is go up, we're going to push over, and then as soon as we add throttle, no throttle, throttle again. And that's really the trick to it, because there's really only one move, and that is a push. So throttle, no throttle, then throttle again. Let's try it again. We're going throttle, throttle, no throttle, throttle again, right when it hits the bottom. And that will give us that nice waterfall. And again, it's really just a push with the right stick, just push straight over the top. Just like that. Now, I am perpetually putting in a little left rudder when it goes over the top, because it wants to, it wants to kind of roll in one direction or the other. It likes to roll to the other side. So as you can see, once I go over the top to make sure it's straight, there's a little left rudder, and now it's staying a little more straight, because obviously it wants to go right as far as the cabin is concerned. But again, it's a really nice maneuver. Again, we got a nice small space here. So, and this is an Addiction XL. This is a very big airplane. See how nice and pretty that looks? And again, you can go lower. You just have to make sure you're really, really comfortable with adding throttle. In order to keep it from sinking, obviously it's the throttle that's keeping it from doing that. So again, let's go up, even this low. Very possible. The next thing I'm going to teach you is I'm going to try and show you how to stand the plane up, like we discussed a million times, how to stand it up into a hover from a Harrier. There's obviously a little wind out here. So normally, we stay low like this, and then we pull up to make it stand up. But this time what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this out of an inverted Harrier. And this is such a really nice move. So as you can see, I'm in an inverted Harrier now. I'm going to get there. Once again, you have to add that left rudder because of the counteractive torque of the motor. And then we stand it up. I think it's a move everybody should learn. But of course, like with everything else, there I stood it up very low. But that's not the way to practice anything. We're going to practice it up high. Keep it low, and then push up until it stands up. All right, I'm going to put it into that Harrier again. I'll come back around. So a little wind up there, it's kind of making it a little funny. But let's try it at this height, because you really can't lose at this height. We're going to just stand it, stand it, stand it, stand it, push, flex the throttle until it stands up, and just push forward. You just have to really, the big goal here is to resist temptation to add too much throttle, because then it climbs. One more time. Over. Now, we're going to get it to almost stop in the air. and then we're going to add the throttle. I think it's easier to do that than forward. I'm not quite sure why. The only thing is you have to be pretty conscious of the left rudder to make sure your plane stays straight. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to show you is, this is a snap turn. What we're going to do is we're going to fly straight. I'm going to roll the wings, hit the rudder, and that's what it looks like in slow motion. So this is kind of a 90-degree turn, like that. Now, there's a little bit that has to be explained. I'll explain it in a little bit when I hit the ground. I'll explain it after I fly. But what has to happen is you have to have, in this case, as it's turning upside down, you have to have a little down elevator to keep it straight. But you see how nice the maneuver looks. Watch, we'll go 90 degrees. Perfect. When you get better at it, you know, you'll be able to do just what I did, which is make a complete square. So when I go inverted, to get around, I have to pull up elevator. Just a little bit. Push down elevator with the aileron and rudder. This way, pull up with aileron and rudder. And that's it. Push aileron and rudder. Pull aileron and rudder. Push. Pull. This takes a little getting used to. It really starts with only the aileron because you want to roll the plane to upside down. Now obviously I'm pushing right rudder when I do that. So let's try that again. We'll do this until my battery runs out. So we're going to start with a little aileron and then a little rudder, a little right rudder. Right aileron, right rudder. Now when we're going the opposite way, we're still going right aileron, but that's to from inverted to upright. All right, to kind of explain what's going on is we have, with that last maneuver, is we have three things going on. The first one is we're going to start it with aileron, but at the same time you need to start kicking the rudder. So if we're going this way and we tilt the plane this way and we get the plane going to the left, as it flips upside down, in order to keep it going that way, we've got to feed rudder. Because now that it's upside down, this right rudder is going to keep it going this way. So it's just a nice sequence of events. Over, rudder. But in this case, as you flip upside down, if you don't add a little bit of up elevator, it will end up going towards the ground a little bit. So as you're flipping from upright, you always have to have a little bit of up elevator to make it come around. The same thing is true when you're inverted. As you get the plane rolling, in this case you're rolling left, as you start rolling, you have to kick the rudder and then a little bit of up elevator to make sure the nose stays level. Just don't overdo anything and you'll be in good shape.